Question: what is your most often used herb in your first aid kit? I would have to go with Oregon grape, and that has to do with a little bit of my training, becoming an herbalist out in the Pacific Northwest with the Columbine School of Botanical Studies and teaching with the Columbine School. That is definitely an herb that has kind of become a school mascot in a way, besides the Columbine. It's one that we work with in depth. It's one that we spend a lot of time studying, spending one-on-one time with the plants. It's also one that I've just used a lot. If I were to go on a trip or just go, for an overnight stay or be away from my home for a while, I always make sure I have Oregon grape on hand. If not, usually it's just Oregon grape and skullcap. Those are my two main ones that I travel with. And the reason why is because Oregon grape is a wonderful bitter. It's a bitter that you can take before or after meals. So when you're traveling, when you're out with friends, usually you're out overindulging, maybe eating a little too much or a little fun stuff that you don't normally eat. Maybe you're drinking, and so your tummy can get a little upset. Or maybe you're traveling across country and you're interviewing a bunch of herbalists and you're kind of nervous and you need to eat some breakfast, but you're not ready to. Well, you can take Oregon grape as a bitter and it helps stimulate your appetite. It helps aid digestion. It helps with the bloating, the gas. It just really helps to have on hand for digestive purposes. There are other reasons why you might want to have Oregon grape with you as well. It's a liver stimulant, and you can take it as for after drinking with friends. When you're overindulging in a little brewskis or some alcoholic beverages. It's something that I like to have on hand at night before you go to bed, when you're ending your evening, just to kind of stimulate and support your liver through that overindulgence. It's also an alterative herb. So you can use it to boost your body's own natural defenses in the presence of disease. So when you're sick, when you're feeling funky, especially if you're traveling, you're out of town, you get sick, you've got this cold coming on, you really need to just kick in your fever, push it through. You can go ahead and take an alterative. Luckily, you have your Oregon grape on hand. So not only is it a bitter, a liver stimulant, it's an alterative herb that you can take when you're sick or feeling crummy. Among other things, that's just skimming the surface of what an alterative is used for. But it's also antibacterial. And so I like to keep a really nice Oregon grape oil on hand or a salve that has Oregon grape in it because it'll help with any kind of bacterial infections. If you fall and scrape your knee, if you have a cut, even just a paper cut, all of those things, that it'll really help. It's basically kind of like an herbal neosporin. I like to have that on hand for when you scrape your knees or you get your little paper cuts or you have your bug bites and things.